Welcome to Binaural Radio Rural, a podcast around rural sounds and archives. We are pleased to present a new series on our podcast entitled Between Bridges and created by Maile Colbert. The source archives used in this series belong to the Binaural Nodar Digital Archive and explore voice and its relationship to place. How do our places shape voices, both human and non-human, song and soundscape? Maile Colbert is an intermedia artist, researcher, and educator with a focus on time-based media. She holds a PhD in artistic studies with a concentration on sound studies, cinematic sound design, and its relationship with soundscape ecology at the Universidade Nova de Lisboa. She is a collaborator with the art organization Binaural Nodar, a member of CineLab, a research lab for cinema and philosophy, and she has exhibited, screened, and performed globally. Episode number 18, Between Bridges, Where Voices Thawed. This episode works with polyphonic songs from the Binaural Nodar Digital Archive. The songs here are from recordings of rehearsals of polyphonic singing groups in the municipalities of Sever do Vouga, Oliveira de Frades, São Pedro do Sul and Vouzela. This was from the Culture Between Bridges project. The text includes the English translation of the song about the grapevine weeping. The vine crying refers to the coming spring. The increase in temperature and sunlight increases the temperature of the soil, which wakes the grapevine from its vegetative rest. Where cuts were made from the winter pruning, the sap weeps. This can tell the growers that the buds will burst forth soon in a new cycle of growth. There is also a section from a Rabelais story of words frozen, then thawed, sounding over the frozen sea. The polyphonic song is processed using a technique that involves freezing, releasing, flowing, and weaving different characteristics and qualities of the sound, illustrating in an expressive and sensuous way the stories being told.
The days are getting longer and the temperature is rising. It's time for us to hang up our coat and happily welcome the change of season. The vine also celebrates the arrival of spring with its crying. The branch of the vine cries, where it was cut from its mother. The vine cries, the lemon cries, the vine cries. Do not cry. O vine, give me a bunch. O bunch, give me a baguinho. The vine cries, the lemon cries, the vine cries. Do not cry. You say, apart, apart, red wine from the white. The vine cries, the lemon cries, The vine cries. Do not cry. I was also separated from whom I like so much. The vine cries. The lemon cries. The vine cries. Do not cry.
The vine crying refers to the coming spring. The increase in temperature and sunlight increases the temperature of the soil, which wakes the grapevine from its vegetative rest. The roots become active again and absorb water and minerals, rising through the xylem. Where cuts were made from the winter pruning, the sap weeps, or cries. This can tell the growers that the buds will burst forth soon in a new cycle of growth. The agriculture metaphor in folk songs is something shared by many cultures. Cycles of life, growth and death, separation and sacrifice, labor and loss.
In the section titled, How Pantagruel, Being at Sea, heard various unfrozen words, from the fourth book of Pantagruel, 1552, of François Rabelais. Gargantua and Pantagruel, the giant, Pantagruel, and his crew are on a sea voyage. Pantagruel stops their talking and asks them to listen, thinking he is hearing some people talking in the air. They stop and,
with full ears sucked in the air as some of you suck oysters, to find if we could hear some sound scattered through the sky.
They were frightened, as they could hear but not see, voices of men, women, children, horses, and weapons. His crew becomes terrified, fearing they are under siege and outnumbered. Pantagruel begs calm and to see whom they are first, saying,
I have read that a philosopher named Petron was of opinion that there were several worlds that touched each other in an equilateral triangle, in whose center, he said, was the dwelling of truth. And that the words, ideas, copies, and images of all things past and to come resided there, round which was the age, and that with success of time part of them used to fall on mankind like runes and mildews. Aristotle affirms Homer's words to be flying, moving, and consequently animated. Antiphonus said that Plato's philosophy was like words which, being spoken in some country during a hard winter, are immediately congealed, frozen up, and not heard. What Plato taught young lads could hardly be understood by them when they were grown. Now, continued he, we should philosophize and search whether this be not the place where those words are thawed.
The skipper alerts them that they are on the frozen sea, on which was a grand battle had happened during the winter. Now with the spring's thaw, the frozen sounds melt and are heard. With this in mind, they look around for some not yet thawed, in order to see the sounds. They find some on deck, described as like rough sugar plums, of many colors, and describes the different colors and their relation to the emotion behind the words, some merry and gules, some fair and o'er. They picked up the sounds and warmed them in their hands, at which point they were able to hear them once they melted.
He threw 3 or 4 handfuls of them on the deck, among which I perceived some very sharp words, and some bloody words, which the pilot said used sometimes to go back and recoil to the place whence they came, what it was with a slit weasand. We also saw some terrible words, and some others not very pleasant to the eye.
The words begin to melt in larger numbers, and a phonic reenactment of the battle is described. The recorder writes he would have liked to keep some, persevered in oil, but Pantagruel tells him it's wrong to hoard up what we are never like to want.
Binaural Radio Rural, a podcast around rural sounds and archives.